Hello, motion graphic creatives! Welcome to my comprehensive guide to parenting in After Effects. In this video, I'll dive deep into the techniques and tools you need to bring your motion design projects to life through parenting. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced user, this tutorial will provide you with the essential parenting skills to create intricate animations and achieve smooth, synchronized movements. Get ready to unlock a new level of control and creativity in your After Effects project. Let's do it. The first thing I want to do is just go to After Effects and show you what parenting is. Then I will define it. Let's go ahead and create a new composition that is Control-Command-N. And yes, UHD is fine. I'm just going to call this parenting. And there you go. Now let's create two solids. All right, so that's Control-Command-Y. And I'm going to make the first one red because why not? And then the second one I'll name green because why not? And then here we go. I'm going to select both of them, press S for scale. And now I'm going to make both smaller, and I'm just going to drag one right next to the other one. All right. So in After Effects, parenting is when you have a parent layer and a child layer. The child layer will follow whatever the parent layer is doing as long as it's part of transform. In After Effects, you tell a layer who its parent is. You don't tell a layer who its children are. So the first thing that we need to do is tell the layer, hey, this other layer is your parent. All right, so here we go. For that, we use the parent and link column. If you are not showing this column here in the timeline, simply right-click anywhere in the column header, that is, and then go to columns and make sure that parent and link is checked. All right, so here we go. I'm going to tell red, hey, red, your parent is green. And here we go. I can do it two different ways. I can do it through this drop-down menu, see it? Or much more fun is I can go to this little squiggly line and I can click and drag it to the green. Boom, done. Now, red knows that its parent is green. Just a note here, one layer can have many children, but a layer can only have one parent. All right, so many children, but only one parent. So here we go. Now let's talk to green. Remember, green is the parent. And P for position, and we're going to move position. There you go. Hey, position works. And in fact, I think I'm going to just expand all of the transforms. Look at anchor point. Hey, it works. Look at scale. It works. Look at rotation. Yep, it works. So red is following whatever green is doing, and green is not following at all what red is doing. Now, when we change some of the transform properties of green and red comes along, notice that red is using the anchor point of green to make this happen. All right? So, when it comes to parenting, this is what is happening. The child layer is following everything that the parent layer is doing when it comes to transform, okay? Only transform with everything, anchor point, position, scale, rotation, but not opacity. Look what happens when I change the opacity of green. Red does not follow at all. So with anything transform, with the exception of opacity. All right, so if I were to keyframe the rotation of green, say that it goes, I'm going to reset this, And actually, I'm going to reset it here on the first keyframe. And then on the second keyframe, I'll tell it to just go around, say, 2 times. All right, so here we go. You see that red is coming with no problem. I'm going to end the composition there. So trim comp to work area. There you go. All right. Now, I can also keyframe red so that it goes around 2 times. It doesn't really matter. And now red is rotating on its own. I'm going to reduce the scale more so you can see it. And it's also rotating around green. All right, so just because a layer is parented to somebody else doesn't mean that it can't have its own keyframes and its own motions. It's just following both. All right, now I'm going to delete those things and let's import some things from the exercise files. If you haven't downloaded the exercise files, the link is in the description of this video. They're very simple exercise files, and quite frankly, you don't have to follow them 100%. So if you want to use your own files, that's perfectly fine. But in case you don't have any, I am providing the same files that I am using so that you can follow along with exactly the same things I have. From the exercise files, from Illustrator files, I'm going to import the crane.ai, crane.ai. And here we go. I'm going to import it, and I'm going to import it as a composition, and the footage dimensions will be layer size. Click OK, and there you have it. I'm going to double-click the composition so that it opens on its own, and now I'm going to go to Composition, Composition Settings, and I'm going to make this 1920 by 1080, 2997, and there you go. Now, first things first. I want to make that crane larger, all right? So if I want to do that, I could select all of these guys and then press S for scale and then make it bigger. But look at this. This is a disaster. So no, I'm not going to do that. I could create a null object, layer, new, null object, and then I'm going to parent all of my layers. See, I select them all to the null object, and now if I scale the null object, everything gets scaled the way that I need it to be scaled. Because remember, scaling happens around the anchor point of the layer. So if you scale all of them at the same time, then all of them will become larger according to where their own anchor point is. And we told After Effects when we imported this that we wanted for the layers to be layer size, not composition size, and that affected where the anchor point was. So each layer has its anchor point in the middle of itself. And that's why we couldn't make all of the layers larger, and we solved that through parenting. Now that we have solved that, we can now select the null, delete it, and the layers stay where they need to be, and they stay at the size that they need to be. And look, now they're not parented anywhere. So you can provide a temporary parent to your layer so you can move, resize, rotate, whatever it is, your layers, in a more convenient way to you. All right. Now, I think I'm going to move this a little bit to the right. So I'm going to select all of them, P for position. I'm going to move them to the right. And now this is working perfectly well. Just one thing is that it looks a little bit fuzzy, and that's because this is a vector layer. So we need to click on this little switch here for continuously rasterize, and all of my layers are selected. So I click on it, and voila, now they all look good. I'm going to deselect, and there you have it. This is what I want to do. I want to use parenting to create an animation in which this crane will move. So everything is going to be parented to the base, but not all together like that. So for example, this layer is going to be parented to this one, And you get the point. This is called mechanical parenting. Mechanical parenting. So before I do any kind of parenting, I need to move the anchor points so that my layers rotate from where they need to rotate to make it look like a real crane. So let's go ahead and grab the anchor point tool and let's zoom in. The space bar gives me the hand tool, and here we go. If it helps, you can actually just go to the toggle transparency grid button here. And here we go. I'm just going to click here. This layer will rotate from here. This one will rotate from here. This one will rotate from here. More hand tool. This guy will rotate from here. This one from here. So everything is connected, right? So just think of the logical way of how these things would mechanically rotate and then move the anchor point appropriately. All right, there you have it. Okay, I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to kill the transparency grid because it just drives me bananas. Now that I changed the anchor points to where they need to be, I'm going to grab my selection tool and I'm going to select these two layers, right? So when you select them here, they get selected here in the timeline. Let me just make sure they're all collapsed. So click on one, press and hold shift, click on the other one. See, these two guys are going to be parented. So these two guys to this layer. You can just click on it. I know it's going to deselect the other two. It doesn't really matter. And this one is the scoop housing. So these two guys are going to be parented to the scoop housing. I'm going to select these two and then pick whip the scoop housing. The scoop housing is going to be, oops, I didn't mean to do that. It's going to be parented to the arm. So the scoop housing to the arm. And no, they're not in the correct stacking order for the parenting, but for the visual, they are. All right, so that's why this parenting is not being sequentially, like the last two layers to the, to the arm. No, so they need to be parented logically. So here we go. These two guys to this guy to this guy, this guy to this guy. That's the pivot arm. So the arm is going to be parented to the pivot arm, all right? And there you go. The scoop housing is already parented. The pivot arm is going to be parented to the upper support shaft. So there you go. The upper support shaft is going to be parented to the stabilizer. All right, the stabilizer is going to be parented to the lower support shaft, and the lower support shaft is going to be parented to the base, and the base will have no parent. So now we're working with mechanical parenting where one layer is parent to another, who is parent to another, who is parent to another. And then you have like a master layer to which all of the other layers are parented, and that is the base. All right, so just for fun, I'm going to change the anchor point of the base. And I'm going to move it to here. And there you go. So if I rotate the base, everybody comes with, oh, this guy didn't come with, oh, you're not parented to anybody. Lower support shaft is parented to the base. I thought I had done that. Let's undo that. And the stabilizer is parented to the lower support shaft. That's how it works. Okay, let me just zoom in here so that you can see this a little bit better, so that you see exactly who is parented to whom. All right? And here we go. Now I'm going to rotate the base. See how everybody else comes with? Now I'm going to rotate the stabilizer. And everybody and its descendants come with. Then this guy, see it? this guy. See how it's working in a very mechanical way? You can even do the sound effects. Boom. And everybody comes with properly. All right, I'm going to select all of these layers and reset the rotation. Okay, let me maximize this, select everybody and reset. There you go. And now it goes back to what I had at the beginning. Now I want to have another layer. I'm going to collapse these guys. Say ball. All right, so I think I'm going to make it red because why not? And I'm going to just draw it like that. And now with the selection tool, I'm going to press and hold Control and double click on the pan behind to just center the anchor point of that ball. And now I'm just going to put it kind of on the same plane as the crane. The idea is to have the crane pick the ball up. All right, so here we go. I'm going to deselect the ball and select all of these guys, all of the arms and all of that for the crane, and now the rotation comes. I think I want for the base to rotate a little bit, even though, you know, that's not very realistic, but it's all good. And in fact, you know what? I think I'm going to just keyframe everybody there so that the crane can start from that resting position. And then let's have it move slowly, at least at the beginning. So I'm going to move the playhead to about 1 second. And now I'm going to rotate the base like yay. I'm going to rotate this like yay. This can be rotated, yes, even more like that. And I'm digging that. And here we go. We can rotate that like yay. And I think this is good. And this is good as well. And now we need to rotate this guy more. Oh, I'm digging that. And then this guy, which is the arm, can rotate like that. All right, so that is the first set of keyframes that I have. So we go from here to here, from here to here. All right, now the scoop arms. So I'm actually going to move this keyframe here. And I'm going to have a tiny little bit of a pause. So here, here, and now say until about here, which is roughly 2 seconds. I'm going to have those two scoop arms just lightly go around the ball because we're picking it up, right? And here we go. I'm going to rotate this guy like yay and this guy like yay. But at this point, as those scoop arms go around the ball needs to just squish a little bit because, I mean, we're putting pressure on it. So let's go to the ball. Let's go to scale. And we're going to deselect the constrained proportions because this is going to become a tiny little bit thinner and also a little bit taller. And the anchor point is already in the middle, so I think we're good. I want to show more of this, so I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Press the letter J, and this is where the scale of the ball is going to go to, and then K. See how the playhead is just moving between these visible keyframes? All right, so now I'm going to zoom in, just because I want to see the ball a little bit better. And now the width to about yay, and the height to about yay. And I'm just eyeballing it, you know. So here we go. Now I can go like yay, zoom. I'm digging that. So at this point, I want for the crane to just go back to what it was. So I'm just going to add keyframes here. And yeah, I can add keyframes on all of them. And now I can reset everybody except for the scoop arm. But this is the problem now, right? If I do this, when the crane goes back up, the ball will not go with. So I need for the ball to be parented to the crane. But if the ball is parented to the crane, then how is the crane going to move forward? So the ball needs to be parented at one point and then not parented at a different point. So how are we going to do that? Because parenting is very Boolean. I mean, you either have a parent or you don't. You can't keyframe parenting. True, you cannot keyframe parenting, but you can split the layer. So this is what we do. This is where we are. Boom, 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 squish. And now, starting here, the ball is going to go up. But we don't have to do it there. We could do it anywhere after this. Well, actually anywhere after this. We can just split the layer. So I'm going to rename this layer ball. I should have done that before. And now I'm going to select it and go to Edit, Split Layer. Now I have two identical layers and I can actually parent this one to the scoop housing. It doesn't really matter, but when I go here and I reset all of these guys, so everybody except for the ball and the right and left scoop arms, all right, I'm selecting all of that rotation and I'm going to reset, the ball comes with. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what we have so far. Boom, boom, boom. Making sense? Now all I have to do is open those scoop arms and drop the ball. And that's it. And I can do that with this ball. And even if it's parented, it won't matter because now this is no longer moving. But if you feel funny about it, after this layer gets to where it needs to get, you can split it again. So Edit, Split Layer, and now the parent can be none. And now we're good to go. We can rotate these layers however they want, and we're good. All right, so let's try it. I am going to keyframe the left and right scoop arms. And now I'm going to select both of them and reset them. All right. I am also going to keyframe the scale of the new ball, which is ball 3. And I am going to then reset. So K, go to scale, reset, and there you have it. And this is what we have so far from the beginning. Boom, squish. Come up, open, it goes back to the original, right? And as it opens, I would say around here, right? Around maybe here, the ball can start dropping. So P for position, keyframe, and boom, and the ball can drop to here. And the animation is almost done. We can add a couple more things, but this is about parenting, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much. We can change the interpolation to Bezier, so things accelerate and decelerate, and as the ball goes up or down or whatever, it just bounces. We can do all of that. But again, not the right lesson for it, so I'm going to just show you what we did. Squish, come back up, and then drop. And voila, we have it. All right, so let's continue with parenting. All right, I'm going to create a new composition. I'm going to call it Parent 2. And now I'm going to create a shape layer, rounded, actually a regular rectangle is good. And there you go. All right. Now I'm going to move that anchor point to this side. All right? Not too bad. Now, I'm going to call this red. And I think I want to move it here to the bottom. All right? And here we go. I'm going to duplicate the layer. I'm going to change that color to white. I'll name it white. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Duplicate is Command or Control D. D for duplicate. I'm going to make this blue because why not? I'll rename it blue. Let's duplicate it again. I'm going to have this one be yellow because why not? And I'll name it yellow. And just one more for good measure. We don't have a green one, so we might as well do a green one here. And here we go, a little bit darker green, and I'm going to rename it green. All right, so all of these guys have their anchor point on this side. So I'm going to select white, and I'm going to move the anchor point of white to the other side. Blue is going to have it good. Yellow is going to have it on this side. And there you go. All right, so here we go. Red, actually let's start with green. It's going to be parented to yellow. Yellow to blue, blue to white, and white to red. And red is the grandparent of everyone. So here we go. Select all of them, press R for rotation, and let's keyframe the rotation. Now, we are going to start with red. Go up, this one go down, this one go up, this one go down. See it? So it's going up and down in an opposite way, and this is what we have. So we have kind of sort of a very organic animation because we can select these guys and go to animation, keyframe assistant, easy ease, and now things start becoming much cooler. So here we go. There you go. And we can keyframe those guys there again, and now we can reset them. And now we have a very organic parenting thing in which these layers are connected. You want it faster, press and hold Option, and then bring them in like that. And there you have it. You can even keyframe them all, go to all of the rotations, and then go like yay. And you can start forming all these geometric patterns with the parenting. I'm going to make this a little bit slower because I'm kind of digging it. Oh, I'm absolutely digging that. So let's actually move this. We're going to move red to the middle. I'm going to do it here. Only so all the other layers come with. And up. Sorry, up. Come on, Scrubby. And there you go. I'm also going to go animation, keyframe assistant, easy ease. And this is what we have now. I love it. And it's forming all of these geometric patterns. And in fact, I can even go to red and keyframe position. Scale. So that it agrees with the position. Everybody becomes smaller so we can see it better. And this is, let me zoom in so you can see it. Boom. Zoom. And it can stay like that. And then finally, we can move in time and reset all of this. Oh, I'm absolutely digging this. We didn't reset the rotation of the actual grandpapa here, but that's okay. I can do it now. I can do R for rotation. And keyframe it here. And then reset it here. These are very organic animations that you can make. You can make patterns and all of that good stuff. So there is only one last thing that I want to discuss on parenting, and this is the concept of when you parent matters. When you parent matters. Okay, so I'm just going to call it when you parent, and this is the new composition. And I'm just going to type in some numbers. I'm going to type the number 1. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer, I don't know, 6 times. And now I'm going to change this to the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 1 can be white. 2 is going to be, I don't know, pinkish. 3 is going to be bluish. Why not? 4 can be white. 6 can be golden, a little bit brighter. Doesn't really matter. Okay, here we go. And this can be a little bit more darker blue, and 7 will leave it at white. And here we go. The name of this lesson is When You Parent Matters. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to keyframe both scale and rotation of the number 1. So I'm going to make all the other numbers invisible. And the idea is this. As the number 1 becomes bigger, it's going to reveal the number 2, which was visible the whole time, but it was just too small for us to see. All right, so here we go. Actually, before I do that, let's move this anchor point of the 1 to where we want for the number 2 to live. Let's say here. And now, S for scale, Shift P for position. I'm just going to start it here. And now I'm going to make this so big that it covers the entire screen. So you can see it's like 16,000%. It's something ridiculous. And I'm also going to actually rotate it to about yay. All right? At this point, see where my playhead is? After the animation. I didn't keyframe rotation. Give me just 1 second. Let's fix that. Rotation keyframe, and there you go. So as I go back, this is my animation. Boom. All right? With the playhead after the second keyframe, I'm going to parent the number 2 to the number 1. All right? So I think I'm going to select all of these numbers. I'll make them a little bit bigger. This is good. And now I can collapse it. And here we go. The first thing is I'm going to move the 2 to where I want it to live. So say here in this corner. Now I want to move the anchor point of the 2 to where I want for the 3 to live. Say here. And now I'm going to parent 2 to 1. All right? Boom. The 2 is always visible, but it's so small that you can't see it. 1, 2. Right? Now it's time to go and keyframe the scale and the rotation of the 2 so that it becomes so bigger it covers everything and it rotates like yay. Now I can make 3 visible. All right, so now I'm talking to 3. Look where my playhead is. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to move the anchor point of 3 to where I want for 4 to live, and there you have it. Now with the playhead after the second keyframe of the 2, I can tell the 3, hey, your parent is 2, and now 1, 2, 3. If the playhead were not after the number is large, then when you go back to the beginning, the numbers won't become smaller. So again, the name of this little lesson is When You Parent Matters, which means where the playhead is when you go to the parenting matters, and it matters a lot. Here we go. Now we're talking to 3. 3. Scale and rotation. I'm just going to do this now faster. Keyframe, keyframe. Make it larger. Boom. This is the 4. I'm just going to move the anchor point of the 4. And now 4, your parent is 3. And now S and R for rotation. Keyframe the 4. Move in time. Make this big. Rotate. Show 5. I think I do want to move the 5 to about yay. Let me make sure the anchor point of the 4 is good. It is. And now I'm going to move the anchor point of the 5 to where I want for the 6 to live. And now 5, your parent is 4. I'm going to collapse these so we don't get confused. And now 5, S, Shift R. We can start the keyframe process. And there you go. This will become really... I need to move that anchor point. This will become really large. Then we show the 6. 6, your parent is 5. Let's move the anchor point of 6. And now SR. Move in time. Make this bigger. Rotate it a little bit. Show the 7. And now the 7. There you go. And our animation is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you parent matters. All right, just one more for good luck, and I'll create a new comp, text with parenting. And this is just going to be a very, very simple example. And here we go. I'm just going to type, this is the first line. And I want it to be white. And there you go. I'm also going to move the anchor point of this to here. In fact, I'm going to move it to here. Really a little bit farther. And this is good. And now I'm going to rotate this here. Oh, I like that. All right, so 90 degrees exactly. Now I'm going to keyframe rotation, and I'm going to change this to 0, and this is what we have. Oh, maybe a little bit faster, right? So here we go. I'll select both of these, and keyframe assistant, easy ease. And there you go. Oh, fabulous. Okay, so the first line is going to grab another line and bring it with. All right, so here we go. I'm going to type another line. So this is the second line. All right, and now the second line, I'm going to rotate it at 90 degrees. And I'm going to put it where I need it to live. I'm going to change this to about yay. And this is it, right? So after this, I'm going to tell the second line, hey, your parent is the first line, and there you go, the animation happens, no problem. I can even split the layer, right? So edit, split layer. I can unparent, right? This, and now I can animate the first line again without it affecting the second line. Boom. Bring, go away, and leave that there. All right? So you can see that the possibilities of parenting are actually endless. Congratulations on completing my Parenting in After Effects tutorial. You have learned how to establish parent-child relationships between layers, control the movement and transformations of multiple elements, and create complex animations with ease. Now, go forth and apply these freshly discovered skills to your motion design projects. Don't forget to experiment, explore, and push the boundaries of your creativity. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with other motion design enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more exciting After Effects tutorials coming your way, and happy parenting!